This episode of Veterans Minimum is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, bluechew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You could take them anytime, day or night, so you could plan ahead or be ready when the opportunity arises. The best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex and better strokes. Discover your options at bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code VM at checkout. Just pay $5 for the shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code VM to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for being a sponsor of this episode and of Veterans Minimum. Fucking nailed that. Play the theme music.
Yeah. With a message for my people. Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need
Live
it.
in hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit. Never been a threat.
You know what else gets me really horned up, bro?
Please tell me it's seeing me on Mondays every time at 2:30 p.m. Is that it?
Yes. And also that dive into the pool.
Oh,
I talk about it every time, but come on, man. Who
it's
needs
like
Blue Chew when you got that kind of dive? But if you do have Blue Chew, bluechew.com, promo code VM. You know what I'm saying?
Side note, if you took a Blue Chew and you were boned up and you dove into the pool like that, would it break it? Like, do you think it would like fold it back so hard that it would break it?
Blue Chew is popping, bro.
Try it out. Try Blue Chew. Dive into a pool like Nick, but stiffed up.
Stiffed up. I've used Blue Chew once before. I have to tell this story. It's the greatest story of all time. I don't know if I could say it now. I got to get the okay beforehand. But it's good, bro. It's good.
What do
Shout
you
out-
mean you have to get the okay beforehand? We all know what it is, Nick.
No, I
it was
know.
recently in Colombia.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
Listen, man, you don't really need Blue Chew down there, bro. just say it.
There's no
Just
need.
say it. But yeah. I got to get the okay. Just make sure it's cool, because we got some big goals, man. So we got to just
Oh,
Patreon exclusive, 100%. I promise. You guys have my word, and it's the greatest
Okay.
story of all time.
okay. Damn. That makes me want to join the Patreon.
Should
That's a good cliffhanger right there.
that is George.
Yes.
Let's get it going, bro.
Wild week, my boy. Wild week. I think this is the first time where, although there was like some standout games, I think there was a good amount of games that the witching hour, like truly was the witching hour this week. It felt like the NFL. The parody and all facets was there.
I want to give a big shout out to Derek Playtees, who is in the live stream right now. Says the best sports betting podcast in the world. So many upsets and blowouts of survivor pools done. And dude, there's so much I want to dissect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of the big storylines. A lot of big favorites lost this week. And they lost in some of those games rather comfortably. They lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like those games were not close. One of them I think I give more of an excuse than the others because of how the Texans beating the Jaguars, I think, is the least surprising of all the three losses. Now, the big three losses were the Ravens losing at home as a 9-point favorite against Gardner Minshew and the Colts. The Cowboys lost as a 12.5-point favorite on the road in Arizona. And then the Texans won as a 9.5-point underdog going into Jacksonville. I think the Jacksonville loss is the one that I'll defend more than the others, and it's because it's in division.
Mm-hmm.
In division, you build your roster, whether through the draft or free agency, in order to compete and beat the teams in your division. And if you're Houston, you're trying to beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars that appears to be the class of the division. though that division is up in flux now too with that loss. So my question to you, George, is
Yeah.
of those 3 big losses, which one is the one that shocked you the most?
The one that shocked me the most was the Cardinals. Out of all of them, I know the Cardinals have been playing teams close, but it's like a team that like I want to consistently just continue to write off. And I'm not a Cardinals fan by any means, but the Cardinals could very well be 3-0. You know, if they don't give up one of the biggest comebacks in Giants history last week, they were competitive with the Commanders. That one when they defeated the Cowboys, it's not because I didn't think the Cardinals had it. It's because I thought the Cowboys were like that good. But I was just fed with that Cowboys propaganda that we hear every year, dude. I don't know how else to put it other than they're shoved down our throats. Every sports show hits the Cowboys heavy. When the Cowboys are succeeding, they're the greatest thing on earth. Every power ranking had them coming in number 1. That one shocked me. But it shouldn't have. I mean, as much as it did. Because I took Cowboys minus 12.5 right before kickoff.
I didn't touch that game. Just a rule of thumb in those situations, and obviously it's easier said than done, right? Like it's easier to have hindsight right now and to say that, but it's always dog or pass. I use that term often. When you have a double digit home underdog,
Mhm.
it's kind of I'm either playing that or I'm not playing anything.
Mhm.
I didn't play anything, but there was no chance in hell that I would take the Dallas Cowboys as a 12.5 point favorite, especially when 3 offensive linemen got ruled out. They lost Trayvon Diggs, blew out his knee last week at practice. That's super unfortunate for him, but fortunate for him in the sense that he got his big money
Yeah.
in the summertime right before that this injury went down because he would have been a guy playing for a contract extension. But dude, honestly, bro, kind of I've been I've been done with the Cowboys, but more so come January where I write them off.
Mm.
But now I'm done. Like I don't want to hear shit from anybody about this team.
Yeah, there you can't.
Bro,
You can't.
you beat the 2 New York teams
Yeah.
that are horrendous on offense.
Mhm.
We have a big talking point coming up with Kenny later on the show. Kenny Betts Big is tapping in a little later. Uh the Cardinals, like you're right that they could be 3-0. They really could be 3-0. I thought that they should have won that Washington game. They let that one slip away at the end. Anytime you have greatest comeback ever to describe a game, you should have probably won that one also if you're Arizona over the New York Giants.
Most definitely.
And then they win yesterday. So all this time, the perception of this team was, they suck. They're going to tank for Caleb Williams, and they might still be tanking, right? They're still 1-2, but you're right that they could have been 3-0.
Which is wild. Wild to think about. But you were bringing up Trevor Lawrence and how that one isn't shocking. Guess Trevor Lawrence's record versus the Texans in his career.
Well, the 1 year they won 1 game.
Yeah. And that's all they've won. He's 1-4 versus the
Jeez.
Texans.
Dude,
So
it's like
some teams just have their number, you know?
Nah, it could be, dude. I remember when Andrew Luck was playing with the Colts, and shout out to Andrew Luck, made an appearance on Thursday Night Football. I was
like
super hyped. My guy Ross in the control room is a Colts fan. They still haven't recovered. It's been like 6 years now. I haven't emotionally recovered because I was an Andrew Luck stan, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the first time in my life, and I know a lot of people kind of had this sentiment about him, so it's not really a hot take, but that was the first time, dude, and this was 2009, 2010, like around then, when I remember watching some college football games about him because people were talking about how this guy is can't miss.
Mhm.
And I remember watching and being like, yo, I see it. Now I know what people mean when they tout a player like that.
Caleb Williams has that.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way
Yes.
too, and I definitely see that with him. But with Luck, it was cool to see him come back, and he kind of made an
He's such a
appearance.
nerd, dude. That's a
Yeah.
nerdy ass move. But and then to take off the hat and he just looks like a caveman. Do you know he's like getting his doctorate in something now at Stanford? I mean, I know it doesn't surprise you, but
Oh
like,
no, it definitely doesn't surprise me at all.
yeah, he's probably gonna go for multiple
Yeah,
doctorates. Why not?
But the reason why I bring him up is because during his time with the Colts, I think they beat the Titans like 11 straight times.
Mm.
Like it was just something where I'm getting a head nod in there too. So Ross is probably confirming that. But I remember he had someone's number where they just always would beat him. And it happens, bro. Like it happens. I've talked about this in the past with McVay and the Seahawks, right?
Mhm.
How even when McVay first got there, even prior to that, even prior to McVay, the Rams just with Aaron Donald, that iteration of the Rams just always played the Seahawks tough. Whether the Rams were winning 4 or 5 games with like Todd Gurley, and even
Yeah.
prior to that, just with the LOB, Russ would just play the Rams. And just when Chris Long was on the team, shout out to Chris Long, a member of the Blue Wire Network. It's something where some teams just have their number. Tua now is what, 5-0 against Bill Belichick? 4-0? He hasn't lost to him.
You're correct.
So it's
I would like to think you're correct.
some of these teams they just have your number, and that's what it
And
seems
it's
to
always
be.
in division.
Yeah, it's always in division.
Always
That's
in
why that loss of all of them is not the one that surprises me the most.
The Cowboys, though, man. God damn.
I know we've been jumping around a little bit, but
I know,
let's start
but
with this recap with
it's-
the Cowboys. The floor is yours.
I mean, I can't stand to see red zone turnovers by a quarterback that was being touted going into this week as like, oh my gosh, if he can lead the Cowboys to like a 13-4 record, MVP. You know what I mean? Like that was always what I'm being fed year in and year out. It's the Cowboys propaganda. Even on the opening kickoff, I'm not gonna lie, like they just looked like a better team. Like just matchup wise, I was like, there's no way. And then they got put on, bro. James Conner is a player that early on in the year in fantasy football, I was telling everybody, it's not the worst thing to have the best player on a bad team. And that's what I thought James Conner was going to be. I knew he was going to be a stud. And then he showed out, dude. And he's kind of been showing out. But Josh Dobbs, you know, it's crazy how quick we forget Kyler Murray. And he'll come back. But does he play?
Nah, he definitely plays. I think he definitely plays. And he plays because they just paid him to.
Okay.
It's one of those things where you clearly know that someone might be better for your team. And I don't know, Dobbs might be a bad example, but he's playing
Pretty well.
he's playing pretty well. Yeah. All things considered, especially when this was what the expectations were for Dobbs. And he's playing like right here.
Yeah.
It's a big gap, you know? So the expectation was that, they're gonna tank and they're gonna suck. But I think the biggest thing for me was I know the offensive linemen were out for the Cowboys. I know they had some injuries. But bro, what happened to this ferocious front four and defense? Because that Cowboys defense, shout out to the offensive line for Arizona, who might have one of the worst offensive lines. But if you were to give someone a game ball, it'd probably be that whole unit.
Yeah.
Where was like Micah Parsons?
You could take games off, man. You can
No,
you can overlook teams. I think the Cowboys definitely overlooked like their opponents. You know, it's tough when the Cowboys got their schedule initially, they didn't think that their toughest game would be coming week 3. I mean, they definitely thought that and teams do this in the offseason. Like you can prepare at least 2 weeks in advance. They do it when playoff time comes. So whenever a team's going into week 1, obviously you got your game plan there, but your eyes are set on that week 2 matchup. And then it's super easy to look like, okay, let's put all our preparation into those first 2 weeks. And then after the Jets, we'll reanalyze. And they got a tough like slate to proving that they're actually legit. Because I think now everybody sees them for the frauds that they are. Dak Prescott's the same quarterback that he's always been. There's nothing else that I got from that one. Like,
I mean, I just think that the offensive line, not only did they play well in pass protection for the Cardinals, they also ran the ball crazy.
oh yeah.
They rushed for 222 yards on 7.4 yards per carry. It's the most rushing yards for the Arizona Cardinals since week 6 of 2020.
And who was the running back then? Kenyon Drake?
Probably. And you know what else is crazy? It was over the Dallas Cowboys, a 38-10 win. So maybe it's something where, I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy and say that they have their number because they also don't play each other year in, year out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really interesting to see what happened to that Cowboys defense, man, especially where we're thinking that they're so good. And they are, right? Like, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but man, that hopefully it's one of those WTF losses that I talk about all the time where maybe Dallas still goes 13-4.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at their win-loss at the end of the year and like, how the hell did they lose to the Cardinals? Where the Cardinals might end up winning, what, 2 or 3 more
It
games?
makes for like one of those memes that you see at the end of the year. Well, if the Cardinals beat the Cowboys and the Cowboys beat the Bills,
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Yeah,
just so the Cardinals
are the
should
best
be.
team. Yeah.
It's
I
definitely
always
making for that graphic.
Oh, it's the best, bro. It's the best. But I think Dallas is still gonna be fine. They're a team that needs everything to be perfect for them to be good. Do
Yeah,
you
they
feel
got,
that way?
of course. It has to. It was luck. Like I would literally attribute the first 2 weeks to crazy luck, like weather, and then the injury, and then you can just kind of dominate based on like that type of football luck. But I think the Cardinals have put the work in. They're a team that everyone's overlooking. Yeah, there was a certain point in time in this game where I just turned it off because you just knew like the Cardinals were in full control of that game. Even before Dak Prescott threw that interception to cut it to a one possession game, it was over. It was over.
I always like to
Pollard
give
did good.
I always like to give people some like betting advice or betting tidbits or situations for you to target.
Mm,
Dude, I went 0 for 4 on targeting this spot yesterday.
mm.
Anytime you have a big favorite in the NFL and they fall behind in a game, and especially if it's like fluky, weird shit is going on,
Oh, you hammer them on the live number? I agree with you on that.
it might not be the
Mhm.
live number, but a money line situation.
Yep.
So the Dallas Cowboys, when they were down 15-3, I think their live line was like minus 120 on the money line. They were minus 800.
800, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Definitely throwing $100 on that.
Wow.
Lost
Yeah.
that. When the Jaguars were down 14-0 at halftime with the Ravens being down 10-7, I did a money line parlay, just them two to win.
Oof.
Lost that also. And it's something that I just always will look to bet.
I love that spot. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love it in basketball more
Ba-
than anything.
Basketball is good too. I know the Golden State Warriors in the past, like
Oh
when they
my
were down at halftime, we would just hammer third quarter. Like
Mhm.
no matter who was playing for the Warriors, just the way that they would scheme up things. It was just such a dominant team. And initially it took a while for like the sports books to come up with that, to combat that. But in the NFL, it's one of those situations where I talk about it all the time, the situational betting. There are certain spots, right? Like the sandwich spot, which we'll see coming up in a couple of games where you have a division opponent, and then in the middle, you kind of have like a shitty team. And then after that shitty team, you have another divisional opponent. So it's sandwich in between, trap game also.
Mhm.
But I like calling it a sandwich spot. And you see that happen often. That's a situation where I'll look to the dog. I'll look to the team that is looking ahead, maybe. And then in these scenarios, like I said, 0 for 3 yesterday, but it's something that I'll do. I'll do that every time. You
Yeah.
know, a team that's favored by double digits, they fall behind, they're at home just to win outright. You're
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at minus 800 to now minus 160. Yeah, I'll do that every time.
Hey, you didn't do it with the Packers.
I didn't do it with
So
the
explain
Packers.
why.
I didn't do it with the
Because you
Packers.
don't love Jordan Love.
No. It's not that. It's because that game was like a 1 or 2 point line the whole week. It's not like the Packers were a big favorite.
Correct.
That's why I didn't do that.
Okay.
But as a Saints backer and truther, I'm upset that that happened
100%.
because that's a game that the Saints should have definitely won. Our
And
boy Derek Carr. Is it our boy or is it my boy? I know he's your quarterback now, but were
no,
you a
I mean,
Derek Carr guy?
no, I mean, he played 2 games for the Saints, and I think that's it for his year for him. Like, I think he's got that AC joint
Oh,
separation
you think
thing.
it's that serious? Is it that serious?
Here's the thing. If you give Jameis Winston the starting spot that game versus the Packers, we win that game. If Alvin Kamara doesn't beat somebody up outside of a Las Vegas club and get suspended, we're 3-0. Like, those things, like, I hate to think the hypothetical, but, when you have Derek Carr in there and then he gets hurt and then you toss Jameis in there, Jameis isn't ready. It's a tough spot for people to come back in and win, and he at least put us back into field goal range to win it at the end, but it's looking bad, dude. Because, like, even when Derek Carr is humming, it's still, I don't know, it's missing Jameis Winston. Like, I was so ready. I told you this before the season started. Like, I was so bought into Jameis Winston possibly winning an MVP award this year.
Come on, bro. Look at crazy.
No, I'd stop it. Like he's got all these tools around him. He's got the city of New Orleans behind him. He's a only quarterback 30 and 30, you know? It takes a gunslinger to potentially throw 50 touchdowns.
And 30 interceptions.
But that would still be 2-1, close to a 2-1 interception ratio.
Yeah, if he throws 50 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Bro, you and Josh throw out fucking these numbers like they're possible. Well, Josh gave 19 different teams 12 wins.
This is me being a fan. Josh is an idiot. Like it's not. No, it's
Shout out to Josh.
Yeah, it's not my fault he didn't learn how to count. Like, but what I said is possible. Jameis Winston, if he was the starter for the New Orleans Saints, I think we would have been better off this year. But we didn't choose that.
Everything.
So he's your boy.
Derek Carr.
He's your boy.
Yeah, he's definitely my boy. I fuck with Derek Carr, man. I always fuck with Derek Carr. But Jordan Love, looking pretty shitty to start. Missed a couple guys wide open deep down the field. I was surprised that they were able to get that wide open because I think the Saints have a really good defense. And
Stout defense.
this was the first time that they were kind of tested in the sense of you played Tannehill, okay, whatever. You played Bryce Young, who got benched. Like you haven't really, this was your first big test. You're on the road, you're outdoors, you're not a team that really performs well outdoors. And Saints offense completely shit the bed. No matter how you feel about Derek Carr, when he got hurt, that's when they started the comeback. And that's when things fell apart. I know it's not exactly favoring your boy.
Yeah.
But, man, Rashawn Gary played probably the best game that I've seen him play for the Packers. He's also the guy that hit Derek Carr, and he got hurt on that play. But big comeback, man. That was a situation where they came back, and they were at home. It was the home opener for the Packers, too.
Yeah.
And
they've won 11 home openers in a row.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to combat. I hate this touchdown dance. I hate it. It's my least favorite thing in the world. The waddle for Jalen Waddle is good. Everyone throwing up the hearts for Jordan Love. It's soft. That's some soft ass shit. Especially once they scored that final touchdown and everyone in the fucking stadium was doing this. Everybody in Green Bay who did that, you're soft. You know you're soft. Stop doing that. Where's the Lambeau leap? So we're gonna do this instead of, tradition and culture. Crazy.
Bro,
Crazy how fast people switch up.
That wasn't even the softest shit that came from week 3, like the fallout of week 3. Did you see what that report that came out about Mike McDaniel running up the score on the Broncos?
I did not see
So
the report.
Multiple NFL owners said that there's a common feeling that Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel running up the score on the Broncos was disrespectful to the game of football.
What?
Soft, bro.
That's fucking weak.
Soft. Listen, my high school
Stop
coach.
me.
Yeah, my high school coach used to say this: "We're not going to go out and embarrass you." Meaning, if we are up, we're going to keep. We might not throw on you, but we're going to keep handing the ball off. We're going to be playing our offense. We're going to be running our plays.
Yeah.
Stop us. Now, was I a fan of the backup quarterback throwing when they're up 40 points? I loved it.
Mike White needs another contract, bro.
But he ain't playing like that. How many times is he going to step in?
Apparently a lot this season.
Yeah,
if this continues.
So that shit was soft, dude. Listen, you're still running your plays. If you step on the field or if you step in a cage, you step in to fight someone, like you are putting yourself in a situation where you might get embarrassed. And that's what happened to Denver yesterday.
I witnessed an NFL football team quit. Tell me you didn't feel like they quit.
Yeah.
There was multiple plays. So, if you think McDaniels is truly running up the score, your gripe is not with them. It's with the Broncos and how they're getting paid millions of dollars to quit. Okay? There was some plays there where I'm like, Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain was one that got cooked on the Mike White go ball.
Bro, not even cooked. That boy was getting fried yesterday. All day.
He quit. He quit.
Yeah, that was a rough go. And these owners coming out and saying that, we don't like it. It's disrespectful to the game of football. You know what else is disrespectful to the game of football? bitching and moaning about it.
Yeah.
What? Who cares, bro? This is what happens. Like, you step on the field until the game is over. We play how we want to play. And everything that you saw from the Miami Dolphins was first team ever, first team ever, first team ever. 5 touchdown passes thrown, 5 touchdowns ran in. And bro, I would like to apologize to everyone about Ursulita last week. But it
Yeah.
was a typo, bro. It was 65, not 6.5. I was saying it was plus 65 points was the best play, right? Like,
That is true.
the iPhones nowadays, like, shit just got
You
misinterpreted.
can get that alternate line at FanDuel, That's what we're looking
That's
for.
that's what I was telling people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what I was telling people. So those
Makes
that
sense.
misinterpreted what I meant by 6.5, it was actually 65. And shout out to my guy Robert for bringing that up in the DMs because I was
That's-
getting cooked. You know that Adrian
It's-
Broner meme where he's like, I was getting cooked. That was me yesterday. And what sucks is I went 4-1 in my contest, but the one game that I lost on was the one I shot a video for.
Yeah,
It's
that's
always
a
how
bad
it
one.
happens. And
That's a bad
Ursulita
one.
let us down, man. Ursula, you're gonna have to come back firing this week and to take care of us because that was not cool.
I am so disappointed that you had hope in the Broncos this year. I really am, because
You expect better, right?
I do. I think you want to consider yourself one of the top, and you are putting your faith into Russell Wilson and
Yo, can I
Patrick Surtain, a team that quit yesterday, a team that gave up the most points since 1966.
I deserve this. This is
And-
what I asked for.
This is a good old fashioned ass whooping, man.
Nah, this isn't an ass whooping, bro.
This is an ass whooping.
This is worse than that.
No, because I do like to classify.
Dude, 70
still
points in the
fits in.
NFL is wild, bro. This is a college game. This is a college game.
I could not believe that Devon A. Chain touchdown at the end too. That's when I knew they truly quit. You pick quitters, and here's the thing: do you think Sean Payton stays after this year? It could be like one of those things like with Urban Meyer, where he's just like dipped his toes in. Everybody hates him. Oh, here was my point. What would you have said at halftime to get that team going? Because I think I know what Sean Payton said and how he approached it. But how would you have approached it?
So he has a 5-year deal,
Okay.
$18 million a year.
It just doesn't matter. Like, these coaches can bail out. Look at Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Like, it could end.
So what was your question again? I'm sorry. What would I say?
Yeah. What? Okay. So, Nick, you're running in halftime, talk to the Broncos. You're Sean Payton. What do you say to your team at that moment in time? I think it was still like reasonable.
It was close. They were down like 3 possessions. They got the ball to start the half.
Yeah. All right. What do you tell them?
I'd be like, yo, this is what happens when you guys go to 11 the night before. There's a lot of distractions in South Beach. It was the home opener. All right, maybe, weak knees. I don't know. I'm just saying. A lot of distractions in the 305.
It was 35-13.
Yeah.
35-13. And then you want to know how Sean Payton did approach it, right? He tested their manhood. Like, there's no way he didn't go in there and say, you're 0-2. He probably brought up the stat, like, if you guys think we're going to make the fucking playoffs after this, you're crazy. He tested Russell Wilson's manhood. He probably smacked Russell Wilson. I can't wait for that report to come out. That would be good. But then they proceeded to quit. He must have said something, dude, to the extent of like the players now have no faith in him because there was no effort. That's the only way 70 points get scored. 0 effort.
Yo, there has to be more to it. I think you're onto something. Like, there has to be a
Of
report that comes out,
course.
because one report that did come out was that Sean Payton, when he was an analyst last year, he said that Tua is going to get benched for Teddy Bridgewater. Tua isn't the guy. Like, he kind of slandered Tua. So that was one of them. But then Tua was like 16 for 16. Bro, the best. You want to hear a hilarious story? I went to Stadium Swim with my friend Danny. Shouts to Danny. He was in town for the weekend. and we went to Stadium Swim. Awesome fucking place. If you guys are ever in Vegas, you gotta go over there for football. It's insane. That's why my forehead is on fire for fucking. I got a sunburn and shit. My shoulders.
Yeah, no,
too.
dude, you look like a tomato.
Yo, you
today.
know where else?
Little cherry tomato.
Worst place to get a sunburn is like on the top of your foot. I was wearing sandals.
Oh,
That sucked, bro.
yeah.
Sucked.
Nick, you got to go see the sun more often, my friend.
Yeah.
You are just inside too much. You're like Howie from Benchwarmers.
I got cooked. Yeah. I am inside a lot, bro. I'm either here, I'm at fucking syndicate training, I'm at home on FIFA. I was about to cancel the show today to play FIFA, bro. We won 9
That would
games
have
in a
been
row.
wild.
Won 9 games in a row. The pro club team is back. Shout out to the Fine Feet FC.
You need to start streaming that content.
I can't. It gets too wild.
I'm sure.
Just saying.
I'm sure
it gets a little.
You, a grown adult playing FIFA
Yeah.
and almost canceling, look how happy you are. You're
Yeah.
such a little kid.
I'm thinking about the 9 wins in a row for sure. But dude, there has to be more to it. There has to be more because Tua was 16 of 16. Tyreek Hill, this is where I got sidetracked talking about Stadium Swim.
Mm.
My friend Danny and I, we put together a 10 a.m. only same game parlay. And we took Tyreek Hill under because we're like, bro, Jalen Waddle is out. That's the craziest part. They did all this shit without Waddle.
Yeah.
They did all this shit without Waddle. And we were saying to ourselves, dude, they're going to key in. They got a great corner in Surtain. I think he's one of the top 5 corners in the league. Been praising him for years now. They only got Tyreek. They'll key him. It'll be a close game. They'll be able to keep that 6.5. They have a really good defense. And then, nope, 70 points. Want to hear another crazy thing?
Yeah.
And I hate when you hear stats like, one of 4 teams to hit 70-point mark in a game, joining the 1940 Chicago Bears, the 1966 Washington then Redskins, and the 1950 LA Rams. Bro, I don't give a fuck if it goes that far back. Like, no, this is the first time ever a team scored 70. This is the first time in real modern day football. Don't give me this shit that this guy scored. They scored 70 points in the 1950s and before World War II in 1940 and shit. Like, what are we doing, bro? This is the first time a team scored 70 points in real modern day football where guys are actually just football players. They're not fucking teachers and shit or whatever. Like when you hear these baseball records, like, oh, the best baseball player ever was Babe Ruth. Like, yeah, when a fucking teacher was the starting pitcher and he had to work 3 jobs to get through his life. No, these are the real stats. These are the real records. That shit gets me so fired up when it's like, oh yeah, this guy had the most tackles in NFL history, and you're like, when was it? 1958. You're like, bro, get out of my face with this shit. 70 points is wild, bro. It was a college football game, and I had the 6.5. But when it comes to sports betting, bro, that's how I want to lose.
Yeah. Oh,
if I lose a bet, I want you to put me out my misery. Don't have the game be coverable, and then some like San Francisco Rams shit goes down where it's like at the end it's an all-time bad. Nah, I want to be put out my misery.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, his total was 99.5. He had 130 yards in the first half. I was like, good, we don't need to worry about this. We don't got to sweat it.
Yeah.
It went way over.
Dude, his touchdown celebration where he jumped into the stands and he was doing this with the fans.
Yeah.
Probably one of the greatest moments in NFL history. That's up there with Zeke jumping in the bucket. Him jumping in
the Salvation Army bucket.
How wild is it that safety had 10 yards in the perfect angle and still wasn't fast enough?
Bro,
it's ridiculous.
Dude, every time I'm watching the screen, because it was in the top right corner at Circa, every time I was watching the screen, I just see someone on the Dolphins is open by like 25 yards.
It was
Mostert went bananas. The other running back went bananas. And if you do the next gen stats, of the 10 touchdowns, they scored 10 touchdowns, bro. That's so crazy. I had the Broncos. How bad is that?
And they only had the ball 7 minutes longer than the Broncos.
Yo.
That's wild.
Yo. The Dolphins, they had 5 touchdowns where they ran over 20 miles per hour on the 5 touchdowns.
Oh, it was one of those. They got track stars, bro. Devon A-Chain.
A-Chain once, twice.
Mostert
Twice, and then Tyreek Hill. And of the fastest ball carriers in the NFL so far this year, the Dolphins have 8 of the top 10 like scoring touchdowns. And it's all without Waddle. It's crazy, man.
No. Mike McDaniels, this is ruining the game of football.
Yeah. Nah,
It's just
I was so
God,
pissed.
those owners are afraid.
Yeah, I was you know what really got me upset also?
What?
You've already scored 70 points. They turned it over on downs to end the game when they could have kicked the field goal to break the record.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you've scored 70. How many times are you get, bro? Just break the record, dude. Just break the record. Like break the record. Imagine you're in the NBA and you scored 98 points in an NBA
that's
game.
the worst. Yeah.
And there's like, I don't know, there's 2 minutes left. And then you decide to come out the game.
Dude.
You just embarrass this team for fucking 46 minutes. Now you're gonna chill. Oh, just break the record, man. You're never gonna score 70 points again. It's never happened before. Fuck those other 3 times.
The Chiefs easily, if they wanted to, and they had their foot to the gas, they could have scored 60. I don't think they could have scored 70. I don't think they could have got that 10th one. But if they went full tilt, I mean, that game was just pitiful. I don't know if that's a good segue into like the next crappy team, but if you're the Bears, do you start looking like Caleb Williams will be our next franchise quarterback?
Yo, you definitely should. And you know what's the craziest thing about all this? You know that the Chicago Bears have the Carolina Panthers first round pick?
Holy shit, it might go 1-2. It might go 1-2.
It might go 1-2. And I think, as I pull it up right now, I think they play each other.
They do play each other this upcoming week in the Toilet Bowl.
No, I don't think
There's two.
They play each other.
3 teams.
They
that are
play
playing
each other. Yeah, they play each other week 10, Carolina and Chicago. But the 0-3 that you're talking about is Denver. Denver and Chicago play each other. There's no chance in hell that game is on any TV screen at any bar that you go to. Like, there's no chance. There's no chance.
What's the over under on that set?
I don't even want to look at that shit.
33.5.
That shit is pathetic. But
Maybe
if you're Chicago, it seems like Justin Fields has gotten worse. And you've done everything you can to surround him with talented players. Like DJ Moore, I think, is a top 15 wide receiver. I'd even say top 10, especially when they first got him. And at some point, it got to be him. Like Pat Mahomes holds the ball a lot too.
yeah.
So you can't tell me that it's just him holding the ball long. And I know it's been a complaint that I've had for him, but
He's got to go be a backup somewhere for a really good team.
they're not good, man. But I don't even think that's the biggest takeaway from that game, bro. Chiefs Bears, like,
Oh yeah, I mean there was one game happening on the field and there was another game happening in the hearts of millions around the country.
yeah,
All right, Swifties were uniting
yeah.
because Taylor Swift stole the show
Taylor
once
Swift
again.
Taylor Swift was at the game, and you know this is the problem with people. Everyone's talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and rightfully so,
Mhm.
because you know he's a shooter. He was in the DMs, slid in the DMs, prolific DM slider,
Yeah,
prolific touchdown scorer.
God, it's got to be so cool to be that famous and DM other famous people. And like,
Have them respond.
I think their Instagram accounts may even have like a real famous, like you know, it's like primary, general, requests, and then there's like famous
I
people.
think there's definitely a verified only tab,
Boom.
so you
Well,
can
but
see.
then the people that aren't paying for the memberships.
Yeah, like the real shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they gotta do like a different logo, man. Make that shit like
for real.
make it like red.
I would say
If you're an
gold.
OG,
I would say like a crown on your.
if you were verified like prior to buy, I like
Yeah,
this.
you got a
Yeah,
crown.
that shit will look fire.
Yeah, Zuckerberg hire us, bro.
Yeah,
This is what
yeah.
we come up with.
So to me, the storyline from the Kansas City Chiefs game is not Kelsey. It's not Taylor Swift. You know what it is, bro?
Mm,
It's Patrick Mahomes,
really?
and it has nothing to do with him being the best football player on the planet right now. He is a really good friend.
Explain.
He is an A+ Hall of Fame first ballot shoe in 100% of the votes friend.
Oh my god. So like
When the
I mean, he
game
was-
when the
go
game
into it.
ended,
Yeah.
the sideline reporter was interviewing him. And she said, "Did you guys know that Taylor Swift was going to be in attendance?" And he said, "Yeah, we knew." And I had to get the big guy a touchdown.
Oh,
Come
my
on,
God.
bro. You know whenever
That's
you have a potential +1,
yeah.
come to a game to see you, there's like a 20% power up to your game,
Mhm.
right? Like
Especially at
if
that
I'm at
caliber.
if I'm at jujitsu and like a girl I'm talking to shows up, probably 2 stripes on the belt power up,
I like that. I like that
right?
thought
There's just
process.
there's an extra boost. And
Correct.
as a friend, if us 2 were rolling together,
You kinda take it easy.
us 2 were rolling together and you're like, "Yo, bro, my girl is coming to watch." I'd be like, "Listen, don't break no shit, but for that round, maybe
Yeah.
George, handle me on this one." I'll
Gotcha.
go a little
Yeah.
easier. Make you look like a
Yeah.
fucking star, bro.
Yeah.
And then after the round, you could be like, "Babe, Nick always works me on the mats, but you came and, like
Look.
some shit like
Look what
that.
yeah.
Look what you do for me. Look what we could do together." And that's what Travis Kelce had happen with Pat Mahomes. Like, we know Kelsey always scores a touchdown,
Always.
but when I got the report that Taylor Swift is there, I saw minus 140
must.
anytime. He gotta score a touchdown,
He
bro.
must get a touchdown.
And he scored the touchdown. He scored like the last touchdown of the game. So
Yeah.
you know that they were trying to get him the rock to score in the third quarter. But Patrick Mahomes is an A-plus friend because as a friend, my bullshit is your bullshit. If I tell you, George, a girl is coming to watch me play,
My job is to get you a touchdown.
yeah, you gotta make
Do
me
you
look good,
think
bro.
Andy Reid was roped in on it?
I think
Because I think they're that cool, bro.
I-
When you win that many Super Bowls and you can and you're gonna handle the Bears, you're like, hey yo, Andy,
when they're up like 28-0, they're like, "Yo, we gotta get Kelsey back out there." No, we want to rest him. Yeah, but coach,
he was probably like grumpy. He was probably like, no, we're not gonna get him out there.
yeah.
And
But
then
coach, we got someone's here.
dog,
bro.
you know what it was? Real shout out to all the people in Kansas City, the camera guys that were they would pan over, like every quarter. And then so it was like the perfect timing, right? They put Taylor on the screen and they said, Andy, look, like she's here for Travis. Look, he was right next to the mom. It was perfect.
But as a friend, as a real friend, and these guys are real friends because I've listened to podcasts. I know some people that know them. They're real friends. As a real friend, that's what you do. You make your friend look like a star in front of a potential +1. Your bullshit becomes his bullshit.
Yes.
You have to tell, and listen, ladies, I know you're not going to like this, but I'm just giving you free game. This is what happens. My friends are the best guy that you'll ever meet when you ask me about my friends.
Mm.
That's how it goes.
He's a great
bro.
guy.
He's a great guy. You, great girl.
Great. Yeah. Great girl.
Great girl.
Sometimes they're great girls.
Sometimes they're great girls. But that's just how it is, man. Ladies, we're just telling you this is what it is. You don't gotta like it. You don't gotta love it. You just gotta embrace it.
Real talk, it was probably an audible. Like Andy Reid called a run play and Patrick Mahomes.
It was like, yo,
changed it.
bro, Taylor's here. You getting in the end zone, then you're doing your dance, bro. You're doing your dance. That's what I'm saying. So to me, that was the biggest takeaway from that game is that Patrick Mahomes is not only the greatest quarterback on the planet right now, he's also an A-plus first ballot Hall of Fame friend.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. He will be the best man at their wedding. Do you think that would be he would choose Patrick over his brother?
You would have to. You would have to.
His brother.
Fox
maybe.
32 mode, shout out to you in the chat. Yeah, you missed the Bronco talk. There's not much talk, bro.
Jeez.
Just
what do you want? What do you want to know?
yeah. It'll probably be on Brazzers on something you can unlock to watch that game.
That's
again.
hilarious.
That's where that probably
touchdown compilation of that game.
Yeah, just be careful when you Google compilation if you're at a workplace. You never know what might pop up. I went to the Steelers Raider game yesterday. Can I tell you a take?
Yes. Let's hear what you're thinking about this.
It was my first time at Allegiant Stadium.
That's a big play.
Beautiful venue. I really liked it. I had no intentions of betting that game.
Why?
Because it was just, I just didn't like that game. I didn't like it from the beginning of the week. If I don't really like something, I don't bet it.
Even if you're going to the event?
Yeah, I just didn't want to, because now I'm being a lot more smarter. I'm really trying to, I don't want to say be a professional bettor by any means, though my approach is professional in the sense where like I've limited parlays, even though I do like throwing a bunch of parlays to have fun. I'm betting bigger on games that I really like. My two favorite plays last week were Denver plus 65.5.
Yes.
And then it was also the Buffalo Bills minus 6.5, which we'll get to in a little bit. So those are the only games that I bet. Because then the other games that we put in the contest, Kenny and I didn't really like them in the sense of betting, but I liked them as contest plays.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty small week as far as betting for me. So my buddy Danny's in town. He's a big Steeler fan. We're going to Allegiant Stadium. The moment I get into Allegiant, I thought I was in Pittsburgh.
It's how it is every game, dude.
Bro, there were a lot of Steeler fans. And immediately the grade A degenerate that I am, I look up the lines. And I'm like, +3? It's a home game. Fire it. And they did. They covered. Bet them on the money line also. But when I got to the stadium and I saw how many Steeler fans there were, I was like, this is a home game. And it was.
Yeah.
Dude, the Raiders got booed when they came out.
That's crazy.
And it was just terrible towels fucking going crazy. Like they were at a Cowboy Rager.
Yeah.
It's going nuts.
And no Renegade was being played, but they probably had their phones out. They were playing Renegade.
The biggest pop of the night was when Mike Tyson did the torch.
Oh, yeah.
The torch that lights
up. Oh, yeah,
up.
he fucking flicked on the light switch.
Yeah. And then Lil Wayne at halftime, bro. I got a Lil Wayne
That's
concert. That was a banger. He was playing the hits.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You go Lollipop? Like
he did
a Millie?
everything, bro. Oh, yeah. He closed out with a Millie. He did a bunch of good shit there.
Wow. That's probably like one of the best performers. Like when I've gone, it's been like old Vegas guys.
Yeah. No, that was lit. That was definitely for like the younger generation for sure. But this game, man, it was the first time that I got to see TJ Watt in person, and I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Isn't he just like he attracts everybody's attention,
Bro,
on the
not
offense.
only that, when it was like commercial breaks, you guys didn't get to see this in the stadium. But when it's a commercial break and it's third down for the Raiders offense, TJ Watt is going like this to the crowd. And the place is going bananas.
Oh,
He's going like this. He's jumping up and down and shit. And he's going like, well, make some noise. And the place is going crazy.
Wow.
Crazy, bro.
I think
It was
the
a home game.
Steelers do it better than most.
Oh,
Cowboys.
best traveling fan base without a doubt. Because I got to see the Steelers play in Buffalo once. And I got the Steelers play the Giants at MetLife. Granted, a lot closer.
Mm-hmm.
But still it's just popular fan bases. And you know what? I was talking to Raider Cody. Shouts to Cody. He has a podcast here at the network, the Blackout Division, and they throw a bunch of Raider tailgates. And he saw me kind of dumping on how many Steeler fans there were. And he was like, dude, if you didn't live here, you look at the Giants road schedule. What are you going to pick? Fucking Jacksonville to go visit?
Right.
What are you going to pick?
Of course,
maybe Nashville, a little Tennessee, right? Nashville's popping nowadays.
Yeah.
You're not going to pick Minnesota in December. No, you're going to pick Vegas, bro. And I was like, yo, you're right. So a lot of people are making their weekends the destination when Vegas is hosting their team. And you're going to see it a lot. Like, yo, the Packers are playing them in 2 weeks. You have both New York teams coming into town. I think you got the Patriots again. I think I'd have to check. But man, it was a home game, bro. And also, I think body language guy. That'd be body language guy.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
You like body
it's
language
tough.
guy?
It's tough for people to. This is like true football guy knowledge when you go to body language.
Yeah. There's a couple of things. I don't think Devontae Adams is on the Raiders much longer.
Oh, and he had an amazing game yesterday.
And
but
he went crazy.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
dude.
though.
There were so many times where, again, since I was at the stadium, I don't know when they were at commercial break or whatnot, but like chin strap off.
Yeah.
And I was getting peppered with targets. There was one play in the fourth quarter, he dropped the pass. And everyone was like, oh, I can't believe he dropped that. I was like, you can't believe this guy's the only offense. He had 13 catches for over 170 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns. Yeah, the guy dropped the ball because he's tired, bro. He's been carrying this whole team.
But I've seen seen it for a while with him, bro.
Yeah, and the reports after the game, I saw, again, shout out to Cody and TJ Simone Raider. They were putting up some post-game clips, and he was like, dude, I don't want to hear about winning cultures and shit. I'm not trying to build a winning culture. I'm trying to win now. Like, I'm 30. I'm not trying to build something legacy-wise. Like, I want to win now. And he was very frustrated when Jimmy G became the quarterback.
Oh, of course.
Because Derek Carr was his boy also. They're boys. Like, they're really good friends.
roommates.
Yeah. And, dude, body language, not a good look, bro. Not a good look. And something else, bro. Something else. Jimmy G, great guy. Handsome. His teammates do not fuck with him.
You can't see it on the sideline.
You could see it not helping him up.
Oh
You
shit.
can see in the huddle, just like looking in, just kind of like one of those, bro. It
Ah.
just don't look good, man. I think it's gonna end. I think it's gonna
So
end pretty rough.
final body language thing I got to play. How non-existent is Josh McDaniels on the sideline?
I couldn't notice him.
Dog, he's like definition of Homer Simpson fade into the bushes.
Yeah,
Like every time on the side, like you just don't feel any sort of energy. You can't even pick. It's bad. It's bad. But you're right with Devontae Adams. He definitely was bitching about not getting the ball. Then he gets the ball the entire time. But it's just one of those situations, bro. He's not happy. And you know what he needs to do? He needs to get on a phone call with DeAndre Hopkins and is like, hey, when you're playing with a really bad quarterback, and I know we're both old D Hop, like, what do we do? How are you staying happy in Tennessee? Because I need some of that juice. Something.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he closes out the year with the Raiders. I think
Traded?
he'll be a candidate for a team to make a move to bring him in. Like we've seen the last couple of years, we've seen some big moves at the deadline.
Mhm.
Like McCaffrey got traded last year.
He could go to the Ravens.
I think he goes somewhere, bro. I think he goes somewhere. I really don't think so. And with the Steelers, you're a football guy, obviously, but you also like. Do you coach football?
Yeah, I
You
coach.
coach football.
Yeah.
Okay. Can
Yeah,
I tell
yeah.
you what the worst play call in professional or any level football is? It's the one. It might not be the worst, but it's the one play that even when it works, it frustrates me. And I was sitting with a bunch of Steeler fans, and they converted a third down to end the game. And it's the sprint out to the short side of the field.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Oh my God, George. I lose my fucking mind every time.
So you're saying jet like they're motioning and then it's like a rollout
The
dump to the
ball,
flat?
the ball is on the right hash,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And they do a sprint out to the right side of the field. The Steelers, the ball was on the left hash, and they did a sprint out to the left
left
side of the
side.
field. And he completed it. First down, game's over. Good. I fucking hate that play. It completely eliminates, it forces the entire defense, it forces your hand. If the guy
Correct.
is not open in the flat right away, the play is doomed. And you have a two route concept. You have a guy in the flat and you have a corner route. And
Mhm.
it completely eliminates you. And you're rolling your guy to the short side of the field, throwing across his body. Again, he completed it. So it worked. But bro, when teams run that play,
Yeah.
it grinds my gears, as the old heads like to say.
It's bad that the Raiders couldn't stop that because when I watched it, you could even see the corner be like, "Bro, what in the fuck are we doing?" Because
It's
you
so
saw
frustrating,
you
bro.
saw him get frustrated with it. I thought you were definitely about to say a jet sweep on a third and short or fourth and short.
Jet sweeps.
I
Are also
I am
great.
like as a defender, if you watch a team that likes to jet sweep in short yardage situations, you're the happiest defensive player on earth because you're like, I can't believe you're that stupid to go sideways when all you need is 24 inches sometimes. But yeah, no, that's a pretty annoying play. It's almost like a clock management play. So, the fact that the Raiders didn't play that like tight and it was still a game. How was the feel in the stadium? Like did Raider fans like get reinvigorated once they made that little bit of a run in the fourth quarter? Like the place kind of flipped?
Yeah, and also all the Steeler fans that I was sitting next to, and my buddy Danny was saying, this is everything the Steelers do. They start to get conservative.
Mm,
3 handoffs in a row, punt. 3 handoffs in a row, punt. And also, man, the officiating was very suspect yesterday.
yeah.
that
time
that
plays.
play on Minka Fitzpatrick where he sacked Jimmy G and they called roughing the passer.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
bro. You know what's gonna end up happening? Quarterbacks, 2-hand touch, plays dead. That's what they're shifting the NFL to be. If you're in the pocket and you're a quarterback, you can't hit them at all. Cause bro, it was a clean football hit. It was Jimmy G ducked down and then it was helmet to helmet. But where he
Yeah.
was aiming to, it's like, bro, these guys have a split second reaction. And Minka Fitzpatrick was going bananas over this shit. And in my head, I was like, yo, the only way you can stop this stuff is anytime you get to the quarterback,
Yeah.
2-hand touch, plays dead. That's it. Because
It'll
yo,
be
you can't
7 on
do,
7.
you can't
bro.
do nothing.
They'll just play 7 on 7.
You can't do nothing, man. It was really.
And that's where football's won. And it in college, like the thing is there's no there's no consistency across college football to the NFL either. Like in college football, bro, I've been seeing some quarterbacks get lit up. Like like to the point where they're not getting like ejected for targeting, but there's been plenty of hits that are like a second, maybe a second and a half after the play. I just think in college, like the referees are like letting them earn it. You know what I mean? But then once they get to the NFL, it's bad that weekly they get to like watch film of themselves. You know that? Like, do you feel that way? Because they get to watch film over all the bad calls they make. Then they overcorrect. Then they mess up that way, and then they overcorrect. I'd rather have the referees, no film, no outside input. Like if we can just get them to live like how jurors live. Like you can't, be in the newspapers, tabloids. You're just in a hotel room. You officiate on Sundays, and that's it. I don't even want you to watch the games back. I think it would be a better product.
Hmm.
And then the only thing, instead of a holy Bible in the hotel room, officiating rule book.
Well, also, I think the biggest issue is that they're part timers. It's like the best part time job of all time.
It's more than I get what you're saying.
But all of them have other jobs.
Yeah. Well, because they're smart people.
Right, but I'm saying if you were to say, "Yo, we'll give you as a referee $250,000 a year, a season," but this is your full time thing. Like you have to go to referee school. We need to have deeper dives than just a Tuesday report that tells you how you did, and then on Wednesday they tell you where you're going to officiate. That's what I think needs to happen. It's always been an issue, man. The officiating either is flawless or it's terrible. There's like no in between.
It's just the big time plays, that they either are deciding to keep it in their pocket or toss it. Like my uncle always talks about it. It's like, the ones that really affect the point spread at the end, just watch. Like it's always they decided to, or they just decided to keep it in their pocket, bro. And it's always defensive holding and PIs. Always.
I just saw a tweet about Travis Kelce. In the last 24 hours, 7 for 69 and a touchdown, gained 300,000 followers on social media.
Oof.
400% increase in merchandise sale. Top 5 selling jersey in the NFL.
Wow.
Taylor Swift effect.
She's like, all her fans are saying that Travis Kelce isn't like worthy.
Isn't worthy.
Yeah, like Taylor Swift is a global icon.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce is just, that's what her fans are saying. You know what I mean? I think her fans just are like teenage girls and they don't watch football, but like, because here's an easy thing. They look at Patrick Mahomes, best player on the team, right?
Yeah.
Look, Taylor Swift's not even dating the best player on the team.
Yeah.
But
Travis Kelce is 100% way cooler.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
And also, like, you don't commend him for, like, shooting his shot, like we said before?
I do commend him for shooting his shot. Do you think he got some? Like, do you think he made out with Taylor Swift yesterday?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I would assume so.
Do you think?
Bro, he dedicated a touchdown dance to her and whatnot. Like, come on, man. Brought her to the stadium.
Do you think he went all, like... I don't know. Do you think Taylor Swift gives that up that easy?
I feel like
probably.
I feel like Travis Kelce's a savage though.
Yeah, like he's like, you're not leaving until,
I don't know. He seems like he's like super sprung over her, man. He talks about her on the podcast.
Hey, I'd be sprung too if I woke up this morning and I saw a couple extra million in my bank account. I'd be like, oh,
yeah,
I think this girl's awesome.
Yeah, I'll let you know whenever Becky G responds to one of my DMs.
I'll lose you. I'll lose you.
Yeah, I'm out
literally.
The game,
but that's okay. We have that mutual understanding that I know. You're already Twitter famous, so you're one more big viral sensation video or tweet away from never having me on a Monday show. That's okay.
Kenny's gonna be joining us in about 10 minutes. But it's funny. I was telling my buddy Danny. I would just like when I was hammered on Saturday. I took him to Fremont. We went to all these places, and I would just be like, yo. I run this town. Just to be a troll. I was just like, I run this town, bro. I'll tell you all about it. They just flashed in the background. There's a lot of other games that we haven't talked about. One in particular that I wanted to discuss.
Yes.
What are the Jets doing, bro? How do you keep how do you keep doing this to the players and to the fan base? They've lost, I think, 14 straight games to no, 15 straight
15.
games to the Patriots
Yeah.
and have scored more than 17 points. You know how many times in that span, bro?
14 points, you said?
17. In the 15 straight losses that they've had to the Patriots, do you know how many times they've surpassed 17 points?
They've done it twice.
Once.
Mm.
So you were very close. This idea that they're going to keep trotting out Zach Wilson, this idea that Robert Salah is like, he's our quarterback. It's almost like it's so disappointing. And I have no dog in the race.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't bet them. I don't root for them.
But you like to see the world set on fire, and you're just watching it burn.
Yeah, but not like this though, bro. Not when the rest of the team is really good, man. They have a lot of talent. Like that defense was playing its ass off yesterday, bro. And it was a
Yeah.
blown coverage that led to that big touchdown. But man, the struggles on offense continue once again. He had that one touchdown drive where like, oh, bro, they're actually slinging. They're
Mhm.
letting him go out there and throw. And I thought, yo, maybe now they're like, yo, fuck it, just go out there. You know, this is what we got to deal with. Like, why not go out there? And then he ends up, 3 and out afterwards. Like it was just an anomaly. It felt like, but man, he had 3 chances to go win the game in the final 3 minutes.
Mm.
All 3 times he came up short. They cut the lead to 13-10, and then, he takes the safety. Uh, he's now 0-5. He's taken 14 sacks against them.
Mhm.
It's just wild to me that, like, bro, pick up the phone, call Minnesota. They're 0-3. We
Yeah.
haven't even gone to that game yet, but they're 0-3. Now they're losing all their one-score games, right? Oh, shocking how that happens.
Mhm.
Talking about this shit for years. Call him and be like, hey, man, we'll give you a first-round pick for Kirk Cousins. My friends that are Jet fans are like, nah, bro, first-round pick is valuable. Like, well, how is it valuable, dude? You prefer this? This is what you prefer.
Yeah.
You want Zach Wilson going out there where you have this amazing defense and you have some
Dude.
weapons out there, and guys are going off on the sideline about it. Like Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson gets in his face. It's like, yo, this is what you want. Kirk Cousins is not going to be the answer for Minnesota moving forward. They're going to move on from him. Give up a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Who cares, bro? A third of the first-round picks don't renew a second contract with the team. The other third, they become all pro, not Hall of Famers, all pros, Pro Bowler kind of players.
Yeah.
And then the other third is just like, all right, cool, we're chilling at left guard. Like George Carmona's our left guard. We're not. He's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but also we don't need to fill that position. You're a solid starter. That's the history of the league. I saw the Giants take Eli Apple and Eric Flowers back-to-back first rounds, both off the team within 3 years.
Mhm.
So this idea that you're valuing first-round picks,
It's not a good
it's
marker.
not. Like, yo, call them. Call the Rams. Be like, yo, what's good with Stafford, bro? You
Is-
guys have no assets. Let's make a move. You can't keep putting this guy out there, dude. It's embarrassing.
He had an entire Hard Knocks camp in which he got publicly humiliated. You can't come back from that. Literally every episode of Hard Knocks this year was centered around Aaron Rodgers is here. Thank God, because Zach Wilson sucked, right? And it was like 2 feet away from him. Like, and then Zach's just like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? He has in every meeting hearing how bad he is and how much better Aaron is. And then he comes in. And then he gets the win. But here's the thing, it flips so fast because the Jets fans already know. They would have rather lost that game to Buffalo at the beginning of the year than to think like, oh, there's a chance. There's no chance. It's over. It's over for the Jets. They had 9 3-and-outs yesterday. I mean, get that defense an ice bath. Like, they deserve because, like you said, all Zach Wilson needed to do, and I think this reigns true in a lot of the Patriots games, he pretty much just needs to score 14 to 17 points, and you would possibly win those games versus the Patriots.
Bro,
He can't even do that.
when he scored the touchdown, everyone in my group chat and like people that were Jet fans at Circle were like, holy shit, they scored a touchdown. Like it was shocking to them.
Yeah.
It was shocking to them. And yo, Patriots also, like these were 2 teams that without them saying it, they're showing you that they don't fuck with their quarterbacks at all.
Oh yeah.
Because the Pats, same shit. Pats,
At least the Patriots are a little more hopeful for it. Like,
but even offensively, they were in Jets territory 7 times, and they only scored 13 points on offense.
God, that's bad.
And then the other 2 points they got on the safety, which, again, like their defense is really good. Both defenses are really good, but man, just both of these teams do not fuck with their quarterbacks whatsoever.
Zeke's having a resurgence. Good for him.
I mean, bro, I don't even want to talk about that guy. Forget it. Let's move on to a different game.
He was a key piece. Whatever.
Congrats. Congrats.
Do you want to talk about one of like the Bills' dominance? Was that?
Nah, not really. I mean, there's
That's-
nothing. That was a classic scenario of where the Washington is 2-0. Everyone's excited about it, but they beat the Cardinals and they beat the Broncos.
Mhm.
And then comes in Josh Allen, who 2 weeks ago we were like, yo, this guy sucks. He ain't shit. And now back-to-back weeks he's putting up big games. And they just went in there and they dominated them, start to finish. They were up 30-0 at one point.
Eric Bieniemy, I don't think we'll have another game this season where he allows 3 points, or he might quit himself.
I mean, bro, they were bringing heat. They were doing a lot of stuff that Sam
had,
Howell was.
9 sacks.
Yeah, they were getting after him, and they just shut it down. And when you can't get, you're not a team that could get into shootouts if you're Washington.
Oh, of course not. No, they gotta.
You just can't. And again, like who they played, now it's Josh Allen. So like all these numbers and these metrics of how good the defense might be, now you got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs coming in. It's going to be very misleading. And that was all for that. The Chargers Vikings game was really exciting.
Yes, I have a fun stat for this one because it kind of blew my mind.
Talk to me.
Do you know this is the first game ever where Justin Herbert threw for over 400 passing yards?
Stop. Really?
Isn't that blow your mind? He's come close before, but this was the first game in his career where he's thrown for over 400 passing yards. And they won because the Chargers can only win when other teams beat themselves. And that's what the Vikings did. That was one of the all-time worst clock management situations at an end of a game that I've ever seen in my life.
For which team?
For the Vikings.
Bro, what about what the Chargers did?
Explain to me what the Chargers did before this happened.
Talk about them wanting to give a game away. The 4th and 2.
4th and 2, and what did they run?
Inside their 30-yard line.
Oh, because he was
And it
trying
was-
to put him away. Yeah,
and it was like a
yes.
fullback dive, I think.
Oh, it was so bad. I saw so many fullback dives this week.
Bro, it went to like Joshua Kelly, but it was basically like a fullback dive in Madden.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like this guy wants to get fired. Brandon Staley wanted to get fired because that was a fireable offense
Yeah.
amongst the other 78 that he's had.
He can only win games when other teams beat themselves. And it's crazy that, I mean, at least Staley showed that like analytics right there may say to go for it. Not going to lie. Like that. Because if they're going to get it, they got to still score a touchdown anyways. Your defense still got to play. Whatever. But that clock management at the end where the Vikings, they had 2 players get hurt. And this was like one of those weird ones where if you're watching a game with your girlfriend, you have to explain to her that like when players get hurt, offensive players get hurt on final drives, like especially when they have to stop the game, it counts as a timeout for you. So they had Justin Jefferson get hurt. Everybody in America, including me, bro, he's my only good player in fantasy. Then he ends up coming back the like a next play or 2 plays later. But then that following play, TJ Hawkinson gets hurt. So they had to blow 2 timeouts on like a critical drive where you need timeouts, all because of injuries. And I don't know if the injuries were legitimate, but here's the thing. Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, the ones that were injured on that same drive, were in on the play in which he threw the interception. So that they get the Vikings get the ball down within the 6. They don't spike the ball. Instead, they try to run 4 plays. Do you think that's the right move? Like running, like would you not spike the ball and try to get 4 plays from the 6-yard line? No timeouts. Or do you spike the ball, then you have three attempts?
I feel like you have to spike.
That's what I thought. It was a no-brainer. Or if not, Kevin O'Connell needs to have it already set up so that you have a junk play. You line up the junk play is Justin Jefferson fade ball. I'm throwing it to the second row.
And that's your Yeah, and that's your like free play-ish kind of
Correct.
replaces the spike. Yeah, I like where you're going with that.
Correct. But that's I shouldn't have to say this to you. And another thing, people of Minnesota understand when you need to be quiet. They were, I mean, obviously it was a big play they get within the goal line. But like when offense is in motion, you got to lower the crowd noise. Kirk Cousins was like, "Ah, ah, ah, ah," like yelling the play, time's ticking. They didn't get a snap off till 15 seconds. It was a full. So they got the play ended at 33 seconds. 15 seconds go by, more than 15 seconds, 18, before they got that next snap off, and then they threw the pick, which it was a bad play. That was a bad play.
Yeah, but
Like
that's
Kirk
just
Cousins should have still done the junk play, throw it into the second row.
yeah. I mean, listen, we had the Chargers in our circuit contest. I was happy.
Survivor?
No, no,
Oh,
no,
oh
no,
no,
no.
no, you're millions.
The
Yeah.
millions, yeah, circle millions. Uh, it just felt like, bro, they went up 11. I was like, I know how this is gonna end. This is gonna end terribly. I just know it because bro, don't all their games look the same? All the
100%.
Chargers games look the same. They get a
100%.
two-score lead, and then before you know it, they're down. Or the other team is like, we take you back to Minnesota where the Vikings are driving, and you're like, holy, what the fuck? They just had the ball with 2 minutes left. Like, how'd they get it back? And then you see the 4th and 2, and you're like, what is happening, bro? But Justin Herbert is having an amazing season.
Oh my God.
Not being discussed because they were 0-2 and like all the fuckery that goes down with the Chargers. He had 405 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Going back his last 6 games, he's thrown no interceptions. And his team is, I think, 1-5 in those last 6 games.
Wow.
So that's crazy, man. Crazy.
Bad defense.
I think Kenny has joined us. Russ, is Kenny on? Kenny is on? Okay, cool. Let's cut to Patreon. We'll do a Patreon read and then we'll get Kenny in here. Big ups to the members of the Patreon. And we got a new member and someone who pledged for the entire year. Mahul Patel confirmed that's how his name is pronounced. I spoke to him. Pledged for the entire year in the $40 tier.
That's huge.
That is, I mean, bro, yeah. Like
Custom merch coming your way.
custom merch
brother.
is coming your way. Several items. Thank you so much for that. That's crazy. First of its kind. I appreciate it. We're up to 82 members of the Patreon. And then we got Abel Resin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Dylan Chadwick, Derek Plates, Jerry Shapiro. Shouts to Coach Jerry. That's Coach Jerry Teddy Shapiro, George.
Oh.
Teddy is his middle name. Yeah.
That's
Jordan
good.
Riley,
Toss it in there.
Mike Stevens, Mike Wozniak, Nick Crummich, Rune, Thomas Robinson. Thank you all for your contributions. And then also we have some new members of the Patreon. They're not in that tier, but they are new pledges. We got Bo Templin, and we also have Ian Clardy, Bob Sip,
Mhm.
and Tyler Edwards. Thank you all for your contributions. We're doing a giveaway, a custom VM helmet for the month of October. I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do 2 helmets because September, really busy, a lot of crazy shit going on. So for October, we're going to give away 2 helmets to the members of the Patreon. One is going to be in the $20 and $40 tier. If you're watching this on YouTube, cheap plug, youtube.com/veterans minimum. You can see the tiers are up on the screen right now. Shouts to my guy Isaiah in the control room. We'll do one for the $20 and $40 tier, and then also we'll do one for everyone else that's a member of the Patreon.
Nice.
So yeah, that's patreon.com/veterans minimum. Okay. Before we wrap up the show, let's go ahead and introduce our guy on the East Coast. The guy who I think if I would have ran into on the streets over the weekend was probably going to spin the block on me after how I was acting out of pocket. Kenny Bets Big, what up?
It's good, man. How you doing? What's up, George? Happy to
What's
see
up?
you, brother. More happy to see you than Nick. Piece of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really bad today. I like the
I haven't
hook 'em horn
told.
shirt.
I gotta say I haven't told George what happened over the weekend. Kenny, I was out of pocket, George.
Well,
But to be
yeah,
honest, George, when you hear about it, you may not do the show with him again because
Oh, I'm waiting.
Real rookie shit, amateur hour shit.
Yeah, Kenny, the floor is yours, bro. Tell people what I did.
Now, so the most outlandish thing, and I'm not even gonna try and like toot my own horn, but I'm someone that's made a living gambling on sports for over 7 years now, right?
Mhm.
So Nick hits me up to do this circa contest with me. He says, dude, I think we can crush it. Last year we had a nice thing going. Let's try and run it back. So, okay, yeah, no problem. Okay. We'll each make 2 picks each, and then we'll agree on the 5th one. So I picked the Giants on Thursday Night Football. Not a good game. This guy's text, mind you, I bet the game too, and I send out to all my clients. So there's a lot of people tailing this game, a lot of pressure on it, and I have a lot of money on the game. This guy's texting me midway through the 4th quarter. Bro, I think you need to start consulting with me with these picks.
Oh no.
I'm like, dude, what? I'm like, bro, I'm trying to explain to him. One, it's week 3. We have 4 other picks. If we go 4-0 the rest of the week, we'll be 8-7 through 3 weeks. We're winning in the NFL.
Nick, that's fucked up.
I was going off, bro.
I know
was
you're
really-
mad too.
Yeah,
But you didn't even touch that game though, betting wise.
no, I
Minus
didn't.
this.
I just hate. I hate that
Kenny's
fucking
putting his
team
own
so
money
much.
down, and you're telling him consult with me.
Yeah, I was out of
George.
pocket.
The worst part is, mind you, I texted him. I have text to receipts to show this too.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
texted him probably at least 3 times. One, because I knew the Giants was a sketchy game. They already burned us in week 1. He's a Giants fan. I kind of had a feeling he wasn't going to like the pick. So I told him, hey, if you don't have your other picks ready, we don't have to take the Giants. So we don't have to submit our picks on Thursday as opposed to Saturday. He says, no, I can make the picks if you want to take it. I said, okay. He says, I don't like the Giants, though. So I said, all right, no problem. He hits me up like 30 minutes before the game. He's like, dude, you want to take the Giants? Almost implying that something is telling him he also wants to take the Giants, right? And then has the audacity, as I'm sitting here pissed off because now I'm losing money on this game, he's chirping me in my ear. And dude, it was something where I was like, bro, I almost want to never talk to Nick again after this. This is crazy that you're doing this. But he apologized, and it is what it is, and here we are. So
we're best friends again.
Yeah, no, because for a second there, I was like, am I going to have to charge you guys for couple counseling right now? Like, I'll invoice you guys after the show, but we have to work out and we have to resolve this. You guys can win millions.
Yeah,
We can't be having these type of skiffs.
back-to-back winning weeks.
George, isn't that like the ultimate no-no when it comes to gambling and with like your buddies, right? Like that's the last thing you do, start chirping them about bets.
I would never. And I don't, my circle of like betting, like I just figured the etiquette would be there.
I broke all the rules that I preach.
Because it was your own team? Because you're a Giants fan? Is that why? And you were like, oh, fuck it. Let everybody have it right now. My team sucks.
I just hate everything about them when it comes to betting. It frustrates me. So pissed off. I was fucking watching that game out too. And then like, it was just a tailspin. I was sober too, by the way. I didn't even drink.
Oh,
that might make it worse, Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
You must have tried picking up a chick at the bar and got denied and took his anger out on me.
Man,
because he took a blue chew beforehand. He was like, I'm pretty confident tonight. And he was just going home stiffed up.
Yeah, I was stiffed up and then
hit a couple bets on Wager Attack. He was feeling good about himself.
Yeah, shout out to the sponsor. All right, Kenny, since we're best friends again, man, and I apologize once again, and I appreciate you ripping me into this. Let's start off with some Monday winners, bro. We went 3-2. We went 3-2 in the contest. So that's back-to-back winning weeks. Don't let the boys get hot.
At the right time.
Right? Don't let the boys get hot. Ursulita let us down last week. Well, let me down. Oh, let you down also because that was one of my picks in the contest. And then, of course, that happens, right? Like, I sit there, bitch and moan, and then one of my picks ends up losing. That, like, always happens, right?
Oh,
And not only do they lose, Kenny also fried me, too. He's like, yo, bro, we got to talk about that.
Yeah,
one,
Kenny,
man.
did you hit him with hey, Nick, you should consult with me before we pick dumbass things like that? Like the Broncos.
I was just still so disgusted with him that I didn't even want to. I didn't even want to talk to him. Just kidding.
You weren't
but,
mad. You were
but
disappointed.
no, I didn't because I didn't do that because, like I told him, dude, it's the right bet. Like the Broncos was 1,000% the right bet there. I didn't like the play because the Dolphins are like one of the hottest teams on planet Earth right now. But from a betting standpoint, that was 1,000% the right bet. If you're going to bet that game, you almost had to take the Broncos there. It's such a short spread.
Mm.
Hmm.
Monday winners. I want to know how to win some money here, Kenny.
I think last week I said Buffalo as my one Monday winner. I'd have to go check the archives.
I
but
believe you
that was
did.
one that jumped out. And then I also did say Ursulita was Denver. So you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Kenny, before we really dive into Monday winners, bro, is there anything through 3 weeks that you've learned uh, for moving forward with betting picks, or like just everything in the landscape of the NFL?
Don't do betting contests with your friends. No, I'm just kidding. No,
They deserve it.
no, I don't. I
Deserve it.
don't think so. I mean, because honestly, every year is different, right? That's the crazy thing about betting is uh, every year is totally different, right? Like last year, the fading the public on primetime games was usually is an absolute money spot. This year to start hasn't been that great. So it changes from year to year, week to week. But that's why the biggest thing is just being consistent. Like to kind of bring it back to that contest again. Last year, did you not start off like I don't know 18-2 or something like that through 5 weeks or through 4 weeks, and you didn't win the contest? So that just is proof in the pudding right there that it's literally like a long haul. It's a long process. A lot of people get caught up in the short term results. Like I haven't had a great 3 weeks to start the season, but I can promise you that come the end of the Super Bowl, I'm going to be up a fuck ton of money betting on football. And that's just because I'm disciplined. I know what I'm doing, and you got to stay the course. A lot of people will, start out with maybe a strategy or something, and it doesn't go according to plan right away, and they'll abandon that strategy. And that's kind of sometimes one of the worst things you can do when it comes to gambling.
That was like a Tim Tebow like inspired. Like you will never see a sports bettor bet as well as I'm about to bet for the next 15 weeks of the season. That was good, Kenny. That was good.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I didn't
I'm
rehearse
fired up
that.
right now.
No.
Make Kenny a clip after this of that with a little Tim
Yeah,
Tebow
nah.
opacity'd over.
Kidding me?
Kenny, but like with Tim Tebow, like you need that.
Yeah, definitely gonna make some fire shit like that. Kenny, what jumps out to you when it comes to week 4?
It's got to be the Bills, right? I mean, Dolphins coming off dropping 70 points on the Denver Broncos, is one of the elite defenses coming into the season. And the Bills are 2.5 point favorites at home. So yeah, I love the Bills in that spot against the Dolphins.
Yeah, that one was uh, anytime you see first team ever or most points ever, anything like that, like biggest comeback ever.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember I made so much dough on the Vikings Eagles NFC title game after the Minneapolis Miracle,
Yeah.
because everyone was like, greatest team of destiny, greatest team ever, greatest comeback ever, like last second play. And I remember they just beat the shit out the Vikings at home. And like
Yeah.
I think the Vikings were a favorite on the road. It was something crazy because all the players on the Eagles, Kenny, had that dog mask.
Oh, that was
They were the
that
underdog
game.
run.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Buffalo is definitely that one definitely was something that jumped out too.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I like that Buffalo call. Just because I felt like before I even knew what the schedule was, when I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna fade Miami next week.
Mm.
And this is gonna be a big test for both of them.
Oh yeah.
George, is there
No,
anything that jumps out to you?
I was looking at that Packers line now that I got burned by them once. They're going to be a home dog versus the Lions, a team that loves giving up points. That's one that, I was on the wrong side of it. I think that offense for the Packers has got some potential when they're really like pushing the envelope. And the Lions allow that. Their defense gives up more yards and points than anybody. So last week, I think the Falcons or just yesterday, the Falcons just couldn't really figure it out. But I like the Packers at home with Love. As much as I hate this soft ass touchdown celebration, I do think that they would cover in a pretty electric game there.
Hmm. That's also Thursday Night Football this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kicks it off. Short week. Lions get, what is this, their second? I think they get 3 Thursday night games this year.
You know, the thing that because they got Thanksgiving also.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's weird that they made them play that many Thursday games. Uh, the one that really jumps out to me, and I kind of want to wait to see what happens tonight because I'm leaning towards. I said it last week. I feel like Tampa Bay moves on to 3-0. Some of the injuries to the Eagles, and I know
Mhm.
it's prior to us that game going down, but the look ahead right now is Philly -7 at home against the Commanders. Remember the Commanders beat them last year?
Yeah.
They're the ones that gave them the first L. Uh, if like Philly loses and like Jalen Hurts plays like shit, maybe we could get like -6, maybe even lower.
Mhm.
I know it sucks because Washington just got crushed also,
Yeah.
but again, now Washington is they're playing better teams. You're
Mhm.
not playing the Cardinals, you're not playing Denver. So that was the one with Philly that jumped out to me, Kenny.
Yeah, Philly looks nice. The Giants look good again. Might go back to your G-men at home Monday night. The line opened up one. Now they're 1.5 point favorites over the Seahawks.
Mm.
How do you feel about that one? I can see you're cringing inside, Nick, with the Giants.
So here's the thing also, and it was something that we forgot to mention before. Kenny knows how much it bothers me when we back teams that have shitty offenses against really good defenses.
Mm.
This isn't a scenario where I would be worried about that. Like the
Got it.
Giants offense is going up against Seattle. It's not like, you know, San Fran.
Yeah.
And the Giants are at home. And if you look at the rest of their schedule, this is kind of like a must-win game if you want to have any sort of optimism moving
Yeah.
forward. Um, I'm not opposed to that one at all. Because then they're kind of undervalued at home on Monday night. So that one is I like that one. Yeah.
You like
All
taking it.
right. See, things are turning around for the boys right now. A couple winning weeks. Now we're agreeing on picks. Things are looking up. Week
Yeah.
4, baby.
You guys got to remember these moments. Okay, this is why you guys became friends. All right, you can be very successful together, but like maybe you got to do not disturb or like no texting back and forth during the games.
Yeah.
Hey, that could get dangerous, bro.
Kenny, what do you think? Or should it just be a one-sided road for that one on my end? Because
No, you just gotta be. The thing is you got to be positive at all times. You
Yes.
know, that's just how I look at things, and you know, you could call me crazy or whatever you want, but I truly think your mindset on situations impacts them to some degree.
Hmm.
You know, I've sat there and watched games too many times where the team I have bet on is dominating, and I'll start to think, at some point they're gonna fucking blow this. And sure enough, they blow the game. You know, I've just learned you just got to put positive vibes out there into the world, and you know, good things start to happen. So that's why I don't like the negativity. You got to be positive, right? Like if the Giants are looking shitty, well, guess what? We don't need them to win. There's a backdoor cover available, and we're gonna hit that backdoor. So Mima left it open for us. We're coming through. We're getting it all. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the season, the $1 million is ours. There's not a doubt in my mind. What place are we in? How are we looking, by the way?
Top 3,000.
Nice.
Right? There's
At
9,800
how many
people.
people?
9,800.
So we're in the top 33%.
Let's go.
That's good.
And there's probably a few, like, what I'm sure you've looked. It's kind of like fantasy where you check it religiously, even though there's no point. How many points did the people in first place have?
There's someone that has 13 and a half points out of a potential 15. And I don't know if they have anything else. It doesn't really tell you. So they're basically on the run that I was on last year to come out the gates. And I checked, I was 16-3-1 through the first 4 weeks.
Wow.
So, and then I ended up not winning.
You
So
get
maybe
half for a push.
Yeah, you get half for a push, 0 if you completely
Lose.
miss, and then you get 1 point for a win.
Got you. I was like 13. Huh.
So, yeah.
Which, like, let's be real too. What do we have? 7 points, right?
Yeah.
We're a couple plays away from having like 10 points and being, you know, like the Chargers blow the game week 1.
Mm.
You know, the Pats get the 2-point conversion week 1. That's 2 points right in the other way. We've been close on, and the most telling thing too is we're getting the better of the lines. That's the most important thing. That's what I care about. Like if we're getting the better of the line, then we're on the right side of things for long-term value.
Yeah, like even with Denver, even though it ended poorly, we got them 6.5 in the contest. There were some places out here in town, Kenny, that you saw -5.
Yeah, right
So
before the game, it went down. It went down a full point. I saw that.
so it's gonna be interesting to see what goes down the rest of the way. I'm glad me and Kenny made up. It'd be poetic, George, at the end of the year. Kenny comes out here for week 18. We have a
Yeah.
chance at the million. Just me and him holding the check, crying. I
Where
love
would
you, bro.
where would you
Just
guys do
yelling at
it?
each other.
Would you
Nick's telling
guys
me he never doubted me.
Yeah, I never doubted you, bro, from the beginning.
Oh, this is epic. Yeah,
It'll
you
be
guys
great.
would buy a cabana at Stadium Swim and yeah, sweat it out
Bro,
together.
I think they would give us a cabana on the house.
If you were going for the millie,
Yeah.
you're right.
They
This is
do a lot of fun shit for people. They
it's
take care
especially
of
for
it, yeah.
veterans minimum.
We would get a cabana at like Sapphire
Mm.
for Crazy Horse
Ooh.
3. Now we're
Then
talking.
there's
And
no
I
losing.
got a ooh out of Kenny too. Then there's no losing, bro.
There really isn't.
Everyone in the studio is coming too. It's gonna be on BM. BM is gonna
Yeah.
have it.
We'll take that out of Nick's portions.
All good, man.
Who
That'd be a good
who do you
problem
guys
to
like
have.
tonight?
I like Tampa.
Yep.
I like Tampa in this. I think the DBs for Philly being out, I think that's going to play a role, especially against the pass catchers that Tampa Bay has out there. And I'm staying away from that other game, man. How about you, Kenny? For the YouTube crowd,
I'm
we got
leaning,
about 10 people in here.
I'm leaning Bucks as well. I kind of want to take the under, but it's a scary one, especially with, like you said, the Eagles missing a couple guys on defense. And something telling me take the Rams.
Yes.
I like the Rams in that one
Yes.
plus the points. But I think it might be a game where you could wait and live bet and get a better line.
Mm.
Like I would feel better. Like I would feel better if it was like Rams like +5 or something like that. You know?
Yeah. I can see a big time Jamar Chase touchdown early on in this game, and then it's like, oh, this team's for real. Super Bowl rematch, dude. Can you imagine when they were
Oh,
building
word.
this slate? You know, like they were. This is actually a pleasant Monday night game. And then that other one's the NFC playoff matchup from last year,
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Cowboys lost to the Bucks.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
The other way around.
2 years ago.
I remember that Bucks game because I lost a lot of money on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Rough. All right. We'll wrap up the show. Kenny, I'm glad everything is good, man. I apologize once again on a public
Everything
forum.
was always going to be good.
And let's get it, man. Let's keep building. Winning weeks. Kenny, where can people find you on social if they want to contact you?
Kenny Bets Big on Instagram. X, I guess, is what the kids are calling it these days. You know, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't got a TikTok like Nick. I'm not TikTok famous like him.
Oh.
But so for the Monday winners, what do we got? I'm on the Bills. You're on the
I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Eagles, and George is
Damn.
on the Packers.
Yes.
Wow, you betrayed
I like
your
that one.
squad. This is how I know you're paying attention to us. Because you're not betting with your heart, because you're all in on Lions. So
Yeah.
I like the number
Yeah.
there. Let's go.
No,
just,
for sure, dude.
you
Hey,
just-
I'm
you
going
just-
up. I'm going up.
You just got a
I'm
stripe
going-
on your belt, bro. You just got a stripe on your belt. That's what you did right there.
But I did just put $10,000 on Quinn Ewers to win the Heisman. So
wow.
hook 'em horns. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
this
kidding,
kid.
Kenny.
You see
Can
this?
imagine?
Kenny, 10K on a Heisman. You can't give us $1 to the Patreon. Be your own, bro.
Yeah, it's
And I
Dude.
got the hat. I got custom merch. You know,
come on, George. You're rocking free merch, and you can't even pledge a couple bucks.
Nick does this to me. Like he's been so good to me that like he knows that I'm forever like indebted to him. Like whatever Nick needs, like I have to do. You know what I mean?
It's on record now.
He's gonna be like, you know, that Sapphire watch party.
Yeah.
Oh, George, hey, can you get this? It's gonna be like 15 grand. I already know it's coming.
Yo, Kenny, we'll do
All
this.
I know is
Good.
if it comes down to it, and we're in the chance to win the whole contest, it would probably be one of the most epic things of all time. Like, right? Like it would be such a crazy story to tell your boys and shit like that. Like, oh, dude, this crazy contest, one of the hardest ones to win. Me and my boy won it. Right? Like that's like it's shit. That's shit you dream about right there.
Yeah, we would definitely have to hire the film crew to go out, film you, like coming together. Your guys' first hug.
I don't even
That
need,
would be epic.
I don't even need Blue Chew right now, bro.
You You know how jealous I am of you two right now, like still having a chance when I took the fucking Seahawks week 1 in Circuit Survivor, and I'm just sitting here just depressed every week.
I still
Because
have
Bill Krakenberger was literally like, "Are you sure you don't want to do the millions?" I was like, "No, Survivor."
Listen, man, I still have my 3 Survivor picks. I'm going full 3 condom plays every week. I've taken Ravens, I've taken Bills, and I've taken the Chiefs. Like that's it.
You took the Chiefs this past week?
I'm surviving in
Oh
advance.
my
Yeah,
God.
and guess what? People got crushed. The Jaguars lost outright as a 9-point favorite. The
Cowboys.
Ravens, the Cowboys. So to me, it's, you know what, man? I'm not doing this shit of, I'm gonna save Buffalo for week 12, because you know what happens? You don't end up there in week 12. So I'm doing 3 condom plays the rest of the way. Whoever I see the biggest favorite, do I think they can win? Yeah, I'm gonna just take it, and I'll figure it out as it goes. That's it.
Okay.
My sister's in one, and I was giving her the picks every week, and I was doing the same strategy because there was like not that many people to begin with. Gave her the Cowboys yesterday. That one, watching that one, man. Dak is everything I thought he was after before coming into the season, where I got flamed after week 1 for saying Dak sucks. Dak sucks, man. Dak is terrible.
Yeah, we were talking about it before, how he's someone that needs everything to be perfect for him to be good. Because that was a game yesterday where, like, Mahomes don't lose a game like that, bro.
Oh, hell no.
You know,
Hell no.
Burrow don't lose a game like that. Like, he's like, nah, he's out, don't matter. Bro, we saw Joe Burrow go into Buffalo in the snow with 3 offensive linemen out in a playoff game and won. And then the video comes out months later of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins being like, man, I ain't never played in the snow before. This shit is cold. And it's like, this is what he had to deal with. He wasn't losing that game. Dak can't beat the Cardinals as a 13-point favorite on the road. I'm good. I went off already on the Cowboys, man. But Kenny, this was fun, bro. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon. We'll let the people know where they could find you in the description of the episode. And then also I'll let them know in the Discord and on the Patreon what we agree on with the Circa picks. So we'll catch Kenny sometime next week. George, where can people find you?
Find me at Mr. George Carmona for my own personal stuff. Let's build that up right now. From there, you can find at Gridiron Junkies, my football podcast that I do. I do a thing called Wager Wars. I didn't even check and see how my picks did this past week, but last week I went 2-1. I think I'm positive again this week, but that episode comes out on Wednesday mornings. So that's it.
Love it. Love it. At Nick Day is Tenors. You can find me all things Veterans Minimum, or at Veterans Minimum. We'll be been going on for too long, bro. Been going on for too long. But we'll catch you guys later this week on Veterans Minimum. I'm leaving that shit.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.